So with Black Feather open, it feels like it'd be a good pick for Rogue, but they're not going to take it. You have to assume that their Black Feather is going to get banned or picked in this next rotation. Because if you give the Kestrel Black Feather over, you're not going to be in a very good spot. But now the Alpha is still available. The Tribe could get literally almost the exact same team composition that they just had if they don't take the Alpha away themselves on Rogue.
I would have liked to see the Black Feather picked up by Rogue just because Hammy plays it really well also, and we've seen it work versus Kestrel really well once he scales into the late game. This pick though is going to be important. If they do go for the Alpha, I want to see what T-Tigers is going to try to play against her. Maybe he goes for the Cruel that is still open or something not traditional such as the Sky. The options are open for Tribe and Rogue at this point.
Yeah, lots of different directions you can go. I mean, both of the first two picks very flexible and just very strong in their respective roles. The Alpha is going to come on through here for Sibs. I think not only just picking that up for Sibs, also just making sure that T-Tigers doesn't have that in his own hands.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to take that Alpha away. Again, it's a very, very strong pick in and of itself, so it's not like you're forced to take away a pocket pick for an opponent. This is just a pick that you can make work too. You know, they can run it with a Vox. They can run it with, Jewel could even work with it, though I wouldn't recommend it with the Kestrel being there.
Look at the win rate, Alpha. 80% win rate. You got to bring up some questions right there on how strong this hero is right now.
It really is so incredibly strong. Teams will slowly start to prioritize it more and more. It's pretty obvious at this point. Catherine is the pickup for Tribe. That's pretty normal. It's the only left first tier captain hero here after the Arden has been picked up and the Lyra banned away. Tribe have an option for the jungler, as we mentioned. Cruel could work against the Alpha, but instead I would prefer to see something like Sky that could do so well, but at the same time that would be risky because you're very squishy.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Krull here because we saw in Europe how effective the Kestrel Catherine Krull combo can be, going for those bone saws that we saw so much out of G2. It worked wonders for them. I'd be really curious to see if it's something that Tribe would like to go for. It's not quite the that aggressive in-your-face playmaker that we know T-Tigers for, that we know that T-Tigers loves to play, but it could be the right call for this situation, especially again because that Krull versus Alpha matchup. But he's going to go for the Reza, so it's still a playmaker, but now the window of opportunity in this early game is going to be there for Rogue.
This is something that we saw T-Tigers playing last week to great effect as well. This is something he's definitely comfortable on. Definitely something he can make an impact on that early game with. I'm curious to see that Reza versus Alpha matchup in the jungle, though.
Indeed, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see play out, like you said, Munchables, if T-Tigers is going to be able to snowball the Alpha, but it's hard. Alpha is really strong, especially in her dueling. If she picks up a defensive item, if she picks up like a light shield, it makes her even stronger because at that point she has 2 health bars that you need to burst through or get down with more defense. So it can go either way. Rogue last pick is Celeste, and that's going to be something that's going to give them a lot of range later on.
This could now also mean that's going to be a weapon Alpha in the jungle for Sibs potentially, but I would actually almost rather see them go for the double crystal and composition because Kestrel is not going to build a lot of defense. If you just go double crystal and both of them end up with a broken myth, you can ignore that the shielding and still get your tons of damage out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've not really seen Weapon Alpha, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that stick with Crystal. How are we expecting the start of this game to go, Zara?
I mean, if they go for Weapon Power Alpha, I would actually expect the Alpha to aggress onto the Reza just because she is very, very strong early on with her dueling capabilities. As I mentioned, she has 2 lives, and that would allow the Celeste to scale, but who knows what Rogue have in mind now to keep themselves in this series.
Yeah, that is going to be the question. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised to see this Celeste locked in with, there's still a few weapon power carries available for them. So it feels like this is a planned out pick. It feels like this is something that they're choosing to go for on this one. Don't forget to let us know who you think is going to be able to take this series. Hashtag Vainglory on Twitter. It's Tribe right here trying to finish things off right now against the likes of Rogue. We'll see if Rogue can come back into the series as we pass it over to our casters.
Thanks very much, guys. Once again, it's me, Jaws, and the Source. Back in it, game number 2. Tribe on the blue side, Rogue on the red side this time. And you know what? They've decided we're going to pick the Alpha this time. Mix up the compositions. Ips has now got his hands on that one. But D'Anzio, he's got his hands on the Kestrel once again.
Yeah, this strategy from Rogue is going to let them at least pick up the pace a little bit. Reza into the Alpha, we've seen the fact that Alpha will have a little bit of that early advantage. She'll be able to abuse T-Tigers until he can kind of get into that duelist assassin mode. So I'm curious to see how quickly Tribe can kind of get him to that kind of power spike, and whether or not Rogue can play this Alpha, because the Alpha strategy is fairly straightforward in how they want to play their early game. Once we get later into the game, things obviously will evolve. But Rogue have now got, the ability to pick the fights when they want to.
And speaking about picking the fights, there's a Prime Directive on 2 members as the core collapse does land as well. Hammy with the Heliogenesis will help Sibs pick up first blood. Rogue already starting off the game number 2, very strong.
Yeah, great way to open things up. Hammy's core collapse was pretty well timed there, and Rogue have now got themselves the first blood. They're definitely going to feel a little bit more confident, shake off the first game, be like, okay, we had a composition, it didn't go the way we wanted it to, but we now have the Alpha. We can now just abuse the side of Tribe in the early game, make those dives and make those plays. And Hammy on the Celeste, we haven't seen that much Celeste in the last few days, just because we're now on 2.9 and there's been all these transitions into making sure you've got the Kestrel and these really high-powered CP junglers in the Alpha and the Reza, the Ozo. So going back to a little bit more of a classic strategy, get down that massive range artillery fire with the Heliogenesis. I feel like Rogue are a little bit more back in their comfort zone.
Yeah, definitely going up against Dienzio as well. It's going to be a bit more tough for him to actually touch Hammy, especially when he does manage to overdrive the Heliogenesis. Is it going to be so vulnerable like he was on the Sora, it seems? And now Max Green is on this Catherine once again, and there's been a lot of discussion about this Catherine. or SEA, sorry, don't really prioritize it at all. In fact, it just goes amiss most of the time. And in NA right now, it's been picking up a little bit of traction here, especially as you can go that Echo, get the 2 blast drummers off, and that's going to hinder Hammy's damage output an incredible amount.
It's a tried and true strategy. Everybody knows how to play Catherine, but everybody knows how to play around Catherine. And with all of these changes going in to so many of the items, people are looking for varying strategies. You also have Churnwalker changing up how some teams are considering the draft, whether or not they feel they can play him into either rosters that don't understand how to deal with the Churnwalker, or maybe they think that they just have good Churnwalker strategies and it's just one more tool in their belt. So the Catherine, I think it's just the kind of thing where other regions may just decide that we know how to play around Catherine. Maybe we can shake things up, find some advantages in some of these other strategies. But, Max Green is going to get value on the Catherine no matter what. That's one of the great things about Catherine. She's fairly safe in the fact that you're gonna land stuns. Merciless Pursuit is pretty often going to land. Your Blast Trebbers, assuming you don't throw them in the wrong direction, are going to get some kind of value. And then it becomes, a matter of how well does your team, gain advantages off of that, pretty much guaranteed value.
Exactly that. It is a point and click. It's no skill shot required, and you even get a small speed boost as well. He's taking a lot of damage, and Evo is going to be there to protect him with the Vanguard. Max Green refusing to leave them alone, it seems. Dienzio pushing up this lane. No minion candies from either of them thus far, so can't initially push them up extremely quickly. Anyway, Hammy has got the Eve of Harvest online just over Dienzio, so sustain will be in his arsenal over the Dienzio. However, T-Tigers rotating towards the lane out does signal they just want to go for a back, or they want to go for a rotation of the jungle shot.
Yeah, and T-Tigers was getting into Rogue's jungle and stealing things from Sibs, and now Sibs, okay, will be able to sprint away, or at least get himself in a safe position. It seems like Rogue have slowed things down a little bit too much. They got that great early first blood, and then they weren't constantly invading the jungle of Tribe and abusing what you can do with an Alpha in the early game. And that's kind of let T-Tigers do what he wants. He's not behind at all. He's even stepped into Rogue's jungle and stolen away that front Trient. So there seems as if Rogue they got what they wanted in the early game, and now they're kind of falling back on this let's play safe and wait for Hammy to get to that Heliogenesis overdrive state at level 8. I just don't think that they need to do that. I think they can continue to aggress, and we see Tribe now abusing the fact that they've been given this space and are going to take the first turret.
Yeah, Dienzio is going to take this one completely free. Core Collapse does land on him. Maybe not so free at the moment, as Rogue should just be able to chase him down. Heliogenesis does find the execute in the end. So, 1 kill for the turrets. I'm sure Tribe are going to be happy with that. It's normally worth the trade as long as you don't use lose your turret in the process. I'll get my words out eventually, Source, don't worry. I've got my dictionary right here for me. Now, they've got a lot of damage, and they have got the ability to siege from range, but right now, with T-Tigers in the lane, there's just too much presence, and now Dienzio is already back.
Yeah, there was a small window there for them to kind of turn things around and counter back the turret take, but now that Dienzio is here, I don't really see that happening, and Sib's taking a lot of damage.
Ooh, that was close. Vanguard only just saved his bacon there. One shot, one kill. Almost just sentenced him to death, but Sib's still alive and still has that passive as well. So infinite reboot is always going to be there, and that's going to be something Dienzio has to keep in mind, because Sibs just might want to go for a dive here. Prime Directive doesn't quite land, so they do end up calling it off. The T-Tigers hasn't finished with it just yet. The Nether Form does get unleashed, and Hammy in a lot of trouble. There's a fountain from Rogue, and actually a fountain coming through from Tribe as well. A massive Termination Protocol does land, but only lands on Dienzio. It doesn't matter because Sibs is already dead as soon as he pops into the infinite reboot. Core collapse onto T-Tigers, and they're going to chase this one up. But Evo is going to be there with the Vanguard, and Tribe once again assert their dominance in the lane.
Yeah, great play from Tribe there. I like what T-Tigers did using the Nether Form detonation earlier, because it allowed for time for Max Green to get back in the lane, because Max Green had gone down to the shop to buy his fountain, and yes, he used it and got a little bit more value off it, but because he used it then, it stalled things out just a little bit longer. He could have chased without using it. He wasn't in that much health trouble. He could have used that to juke out a major skill or any kind of damage coming at him, and because he did that, it gave Max Green just enough time to get there into lane, use the fountain, and they continue to get the pressure onto the side of Rogue, and Sibs again got that early game value, but hasn't really been able to show up and do much on this alpha. Termination Protocol has to come in halfway through the fight. It needs to get a kill. It needs to get so much burst that Hammy either finishes things up or it gets the job done on its own, and we saw what happened after that. The Enzo turned around was like, yeah, I'm still weapon power Kestrel. I still have crits. You may be afraid of T-Tigers, but I can still output very, very strong, consistent damage. We saw what those damage graphs look like, despite T-Tigers being, this upfront, in-your-face threat in the last game. It was Dienzio who's following up with the consistent damage, keeping pressure on the team, giving them the weapon power Kestrel again, and I would be scared if I were Sibs about when and where I use that Termination Protocol, because if you don't kill Dienzio, he's probably going to turn around and finish you off with a few click glimmer strikes.
But yeah, it's alright, Sauce. We'll both get there, don't worry. Yeah, words are definitely hard. Hey, come on, man. You haven't got an excuse, man. It's 10 o'clock for me in the evening. I'm not sure what time it is for you right now, but I'm sure it's a little bit earlier. Now, Sibs, in the early game, if we rewind the match clock about 3 to 4 minutes ago, maybe a little bit more, but Sibs had the aftershock advantage over T-Tigers. You were mentioning T-Tigers was just baiting Sibs' front camps, no problem. Sibs wasn't do anything of the like, and that has now disappeared. That advantage is now completely gone, and with T-Tigers with an infusion in his inventory, Solar Storm doesn't quite steal the gold miner just yet. With an infusion in his inventory, he's just got a massive advantage in terms of power level over Sibs. They're not going to fight when he's got one up, but T-Tigers goes in, pops his. Hammy's got no defensive abilities, no defensive, well, apart from the core collapse, no defensive items in his inventory, so he's not going to be able to deal with the damage that T-Tigers is going to output. Now when there's a gold miner over to Tribe, Rogue are slowly losing this one, even though they had a vast clench on this early in the game after that first blood.
Well, they've now hit the Overdrive Heliogenesis spike, so this is the time. They have now reached the moment in time that they've been waiting for, and now they fight.
Yeah, the gauntlet does get laid down. Dienzio's on the outside of it, however, so is T-Tigers. They just kite away from that one perfectly. Tribe, they are very low, though. Another Prime Directive will land on Dienzio. He does shrug it off. That damage is not necessarily going to be there. Blast Tremor comes out. There's the Nether Form detonation on 3 people. Hammered already falling very low. Another Blast Tremor does get blocked by Rogue. And that will be Evo hopping his boots. And Sibs is going to go for the re-engage. Max Green shrugs the damage off. No worries. Dienzio still putting out and constant damage. 500 on the Glimmer shots right now. And he just obliterates Hammy. And now it is T-Tigers that's on the run. Sibs at least needs to trade this 1-for-1 to make it worth it for the moment. He finds the kill in the end. And with Dienzio very low on energy, does decide to back off.
Great play from Tribe to change targets very quickly. They put pressure onto Sibs to make Hammy think that he's going to be fine, and the moment they do, they get off another Merciless Pursuit from Max Green, and Dienzio shows up, crit, and Hammy's gone. So Tribe are showing off very, very good target calling. It was definitely the time for Rogue to fight. They hit that power spike, and then we're like, okay, we can fight now. but it wasn't as coordinated as it needed to be. They got off the gauntlet, but Sibs didn't manage to instantly follow up onto a target. Max Green was taking the brunt of the damage, stepping up and kind of baiting Sibs forward, saying, hey, you can hit me. And Sibs was using the Prime Directive, was using the charge, and didn't manage to bring them down. And then the moment the teamfight starts, everybody forgets about Max Green on the side of Rogue. He was the low target. Maybe if they'd managed to finish him off, they don't manage to get off the additional stuns on the Hemi, and the fight starts to turn around. T-Tigers is also doing a very good job of, again, drawing pressure away from Dienzio while still getting off reasonable damage. He's not going in for that Assassin Reza moment where he instantly bursts down a target and chases super, super deep. He's just constantly harassing and baiting in the members of Rogue to consider him enough of a threat to give Dienzio space.
And now look what Sibs has built, Source. He's built a full metal jacket. Now a metal jacket, sorry, I always call it after the film, I don't know why, I blame Scoundrel on that one. He's built a metal jacket just to stop some of the damage coming out from Dienzio. Dienzio's got a double monocle, he's got the Sora Blade online, and he's got that infusion as well. Sibs hasn't even got a second damage items, he's having to go defensive now in order to survive that initial burst damage coming out from Dienzio with those 4 Glimmer shots in tow. They're going to take another gold miner here. Rogue have not really got an answer apart from Hammy using that Solar Storm. I'm not sure they got any vision. He's going to send it out just to clip it. He got it. He actually got it. There's no execution from Tribe and Rogue. They managed to steal away the gold miner. At least they got something to go for them right now. That's just about even the gold lead up as well. Tribe and Rogue now only 1,000 apart.
That's actually critically important for the side of Rogue for a few reasons. One, Sibs, you were just talking about how he's gone defensive. He's pretty much in line with T-Tigers, and T-Tigers is working on that second item. Sibs got the piercing shard, so he's working on getting that broken myth off the damage from
Oh my god. That is scary. T-Tigers looking like he wanted to go for some as well. The gauntlet does come out, but Dienzio's safe to the other side of it. T-Tigers trying to defend him right now. Active camo does get popped, but Hammy is going to be able to take him out, but not before they take the turret. Blast Trumpet is going to start slowly Ardent up for the time being, but T-Tigers already ripping through Hammy, and he evolves very low as well. Had to use those boots to get away, and now Sibs trying to clean up the rest of this fight. T-Tigers finds the double. Max Green's got Mercy Pursuit up in a couple of seconds. Beautiful bodily block of the Prime Directive will make sure T-Tigers gets out alive for the time being. Although I say that, and no, EU Trient roots up Sibs. He's safer now.
Uh-oh. I'm not sure Tribe are out of this one just yet. Okay, Sibs didn't decide to chase. So, that was an interesting team fight. Dienzio focused down the turret. They decided that that was going to be the priority. They realized that Dienzio was pretty much dead, and they had to sacrifice him just to get the objective. Good for them. What was impressive was T-Tigers did the Assassin Reza thing, where he put significant pressure on the Hammy and pretty much soloed him while still under a lot of pressure, and they managed to walk away from that. So they kind of kite Sibs around a bit. Evil took a lot of additional damage as well. Hammy gets brought down. Hammy has now reached that insane amount of damage that you can get out of a fully stacked Dragon's Eye combo on the Celeste. So assuming that he is able to lay down those Heliogenesis, the damage will be there for the side of Rogue. They're not lacking in damage. What they're unable to do is catch T-Tigers before he kills Hammy, and in that fight, Dienzio was basically a non-factor. So that was pretty much a 2v3 on the side of Tribe. That's how valuable T-Tigers is, you know, his play has been within this composition and within the last few fights. So if I'm the side of Rogue, yes, you got to take out Dienzio, but you just need to protect Hammy. If Hammy lasts for a long time in these fights and just has max stacks and is dishing out damage, I think they will be able to bring down Tribe. If at any moment they start to get put under pressure like Sibs is right now, they're not going to win the fights.
And nice disengage from the gold miner to help secure it. Sibs is going extremely low. Popped into that passive. Blast Drum is going to get blocked for the time being. That's going to be a big call on to T-Tigers, but then form destination straight on top of T-Tigers as well. Or on top of Hammy even, but he just managed to take him out after the core collapse landed. Max Green now on the run. Dienzio has got no front line left. Does manage to reflex block that initial damage coming out of Prime Directive. Pops into stealth as well. He might be safe for the moment, but Hammy is still marching down the lane. And Sibs, infinite chase, has got Evo to back him up. They managed to find 2 kills. They lose the gold miner, but the Kraken has only just awakened.
That gauntlet was perfect, as well as the Crucible. So the Crucible blocks out the second blast tremor that came out from Max. Or no, it was only the first blast tremor. I thought there were 2 in there. So he blocks the first blast tremor. That allows Hammy to just continue to dish out damage. And then a perfectly placed gauntlet gives them enough space where Dienzio is boxed out of the fight pretty far. Max Green is following up with T-Tiger so that they can try and bring down Hammy, and they get an additional core collapse. Everything goes in favor of Rogue in that fight, and they got the long extended fight that they were looking for. They now have the Kraken, can kind of start to push down some of these turrets they haven't been able to get. Dienzio, however, he's kind of at that max build where he's got the armor shred to bring down all of the defenses that are starting to be built up by the frontliners of Rogue. And he wasn't a factor in that fight, so you have to worry about what happens when Dienzio actually does manage to land his damage.
Well, Dienzio's doing a lot of damage now. There you go, Source. Question answered for you. Apparently, it just deletes Hammy straight away. Sibs is going to go in, activate the termination protocol, pop straight into the... Oh, no. It's not even worth it at this point. Dienzio just destroys Sibs and Hammy if they just step up to the plate. Was popped straight into the passive, but instantly went down. Evo had nothing really to say. Didn't even have time to use the gauntlet. That's the Kraken going down after only taking 1 turret, and now Tribe, they're back on the board.
Yeah, and Tribe are looking to really control the next team fight and just execute targets because T-Tigers is going into more damage. He has the Aftershock, he's got his Broken Myth. I don't know what his third item ends up being. Could be a Shatter Glass. It could end up being a Dragon's Eye if he feels confident that he's landing all of his damage, which damage is fairly safe on Tereza, especially if you land the Netherform detonation. You're going to get all of those stacks built up pretty instantly, and you know, if you're spacing out your Troublemaker combos, you'll be able to keep the stacks up for a reasonable amount of time. On the other side, Sibs is going full defensive. And because there isn't a weapon power carry from the side of Rogue, which the Des was talking about getting the value out of the double crystal power, it'll help them bring down Dienzio very quickly. They're not able to reach Dienzio often. The only team fight that they really won, Dienzio was boxed out. And so without having a weapon power carry, T-Tigers feels comfortable, and he's like, I can just take more damage.
Hammy taking a lot of damage right now. Just get double stunned up. There's the blast tremor as well. Never form detonation, but the double gauntlet is going to separate them off. And now Hammy can just stack up that Dragon's Eye. Does unleash the Solar Storm, but doesn't do a whole lot of damage just yet. Max Green now tanking turrets. It's going very low. Does pop the termination protocol. It's going to find the backline, but Dienzio still left completely untouched as T-Tigers wrecks Rogue's backline. Hammy ends up falling with Max Green almost falling down to the turret there. So now it's a 2v1 with Sibs and Evo at half HP. Dienzio's going to focus the turret. They're going to open up the base, and now they can just race straight for those Vein Crystal turrets, although signing against it.
Talking about Hammy stacking the Dragon's Eye, T-Tigers landed Netherform detonation on 3 people, so instantly stacked Dragon's Eye and just unleashed massive amounts of damage. The side of Tribe have really reached a critical point in their end game where I don't think that they can really protect Hammy on the side of Rogue. I don't know how they keep him alive other than a perfect set of double gauntlets. And now Dienzio is taking the Crystal Sentry on his own, sidesteps out the attempt from Sibs to re-engage onto him, and it is going to be a Dragon's Eye from T-Tigers. So he didn't have it in that last fight, but if he gets off the same kind of play, he's going to do massive damage.
Dienzio's full build as well now. Has got tier 3 boots. He's got the Bone Saw, a couple of Monocles and a Sorrow Blade, so he is ready to rock and roll. Not like he wasn't before, mind you. Now Rogue, they are just posturing rather aggressively around this Kraken, looking to maybe catch Tribe out, but Tribe are looking to do just that as well. Dienzio's already found himself a Sibs, but Sibs needs to be able to protect his backline. Blast Tremor comes out, he's going to get blocked, and now Rogue, they are on the run. They have that Gauntlet, but no Echo to use with it, so they're going to have to use it sparingly. Evo goes in, Core Collapse onto 2 members. There's the Gauntlet. Solar Storm comes out and just rips through Max Green as well. A double kill for Hammy, and now there's only Dienzio on the table, and Hammy manages to pick him off as well. That's going to be an ace for Rogue, and they're not even going to bother with the Kraken. I just think they're going to go straight towards the base and try to end.
Tribe overcommit for the first time in this game. They walk right into Hammy's damage. He's finally able to get the value and stack up that Dragon's Eye and just be a Celeste that we know he can play. It's been a while since we've seen Celeste getting all of this insane value. You know, the new items have changed up what her build looks like. We've seen multiple variations, but Rogue are going to close out this game, and now T-Tigers has to think about how he's going to re-engage fights, because there just isn't a way for them to do enough damage to save themselves in this game, and that was pretty much off of his overcommitment in that last fight.
There you go, the crystal is shattered, and now Rogue come back with a very, very close game in game number 2. They are one apiece thus far. That Alpha really seemed to work out for both these teams. We'll see how well it is prioritized in game number 2.
Yeah, Alpha priority pick for sure. I mean, there are definitely answers back to the Alpha, answers into the Alpha.